It's not actually that long until we get the next iteration of Dark Souls 3, and of course we recently learned that it will be coming out on console and PC at the same time, and now Steam has published the minimum and recommended specifications for the game. Now this is a smidge early because it's not coming out until April, but perhaps it was a mistake, perhaps they just want you to be well informed. Either or, we do know that these are what the minimum and recommended specs are. So, let's begin, of course, with the minimum. OS will not shock you, Windows 7 SP1, Windows 8.1, Windows 10, all of them 64-bit. Processor-wise, you'll need an AMD A8-3870 at 3.6 GHz or an Intel Core i3-2100 at 3.1 GHz, 8 GB of RAM. As for graphics card, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 465 and ATI Radeon HD 6870. DX will be 11 and it will take up a rather hefty 50 gigs of space, but that's hardly surprising. I think we just kind of have to accept that with big AAA, big budget games nowadays. So, let's move on to the recommended, which are a little bit meatier but more than reasonable. OS is of course the same. Processor wise, you'll need AMD FX 8150 3.6 GHz or Intel Core i7 2600 at 3.4 GHz, 8 GB of RAM. Graphics card will be an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 750 or an ATI Radeon HD 7850, and of course still DX11 for the DX version. Now, as I'm sure you would all agree, those specs are pretty damn modest. So I would say that most of you are most likely going to be able to run this. Let's hope that the PC version is good. Of course, Dark Souls 2 was better on PC than Dark Souls 1, but still going to be interesting to see how they handle this release. I doubt they're going to mess it up at this stage, but given how many botched PC versions we've had in recent years, I'm just going to be a bit cautious, but I'm sure it'll be fine. These specs look more than fine. I'm just happy that they aren't inflating them like a lot of devs have been doing lately, saying insanely high specs and then they can actually run them much lower. Who knows started that trend, but stop it! Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.